What's poppin', world? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to make the notion that as men, you should never marry a woman who lacks accountability. Now, many would say you should never date a woman who lacks accountability. But the truth of the matter is this: the main way you're going to find out if a woman lacks accountability is by dating and vetting her, right? You're going to want to get in there, let her stand the test of time, see can she learn from her mistakes. You're going to see if you can teach her, coach her, whatever you want to call it, on situations when she's in the wrong. And you want to see if she's willing to admit that she's in the wrong, or she's going to change her course of action if she's ever in that situation again, so on and so forth. But like I say, that comes when you're vetting and dating her. So I like to make the notion that never marry one, because once again, in those dating stages, that's when you're gonna truly find out if this woman lacks accountability. I'm gonna play a short clip, and I'm gonna let this guy speak on women who lack accountability. Then I'm gonna break down the rest of this. Let's get into it.
And you shouldn't either. I couldn't be with a woman who's not accountable for her actions, right? It's almost like they don't even have a conscience. That's another a motivator to do bad things for you when there's no conscience there, because somebody else is the problem. You made me do this. He made me cheat. He wasn't showing me love. He was neglecting me. He was working too much. It's not and I can't control myself, and I'm not brave enough to end a relationship. It's you, right? And so when somebody don't feel bad about the things that they do, when they don't have a moral compass and a conscience, they're more than likely to do these bad things, these disrespectful things. So if a woman don't have accountability, she out.
All right, guys. So you saw that, you heard that. He broke down basically how these women who lack accountability, they're always placing the blame on somebody else. They are not able to, quote unquote, take it to the chin and admit when they're wrong, and that's a major issue, as we all know. That's a major issue. If a woman is not going to take fault for what she does wrong, run. This is a woman you do not want to deal with. Now, the thing about it is this: we all know that modern day women do not like to be checked. These women do not want to be checked. But the truth of the matter is this: a woman should be able to check herself when she's in the wrong. She should be able to check herself. It shouldn't take someone else coming in and saying, hey, you're wrong about this. Hey, you're wrong about that, for her to realize what's going on within that situation. Now, also remember this: accountability is allergic to immature. I'm going to say that again. Accountability is allergic to immature. So whenever you have a woman, right, and let's just say she's immature, she's not going to be able to hold herself accountable or allow others to hold her accountable, right? Those two things are like oil and water. They just don't mix. Accountability and immaturity do not mix. Now, here's why that doesn't work as far as a woman checking a man, right? So, in most cases, women are going to tell men every time they're wrong, every time they make a mistake. A woman is going to be on a man's throat every single time. Oh, you left the toilet seat up. Oh, you forgot to lock the door as soon as you came in the house. Oh, you forgot to fill the ice tray back up with water. Oh, you forgot to, and the list goes on and on and on. Anytime a man does anything, right, that is not right or not to her liking, she is not going to hesitate to let him know. But whenever a woman is in the wrong, she does not want to hear or admit to being in the wrong. And the thing is this: here in America, most of the women are children, or most of the women are like children when it comes to this. And you might say, oh, what do you mean they're like children, right? Have you ever caught a child in the wrong, or doing something wrong, or you discover something, you're like, oh, so-and-so did this, right? And you confront that child, right? And you know they did it. what do they typically do? They would start looking around, look the other way, look at the floor, or they'll say, I didn't do it, so they'll lie. They'll do whatever they got to do to keep accountability away from themselves within that situation, right? A kid is always going to push away responsibility, push away from that accountability anytime they're in the wrong, right? Now, this is where women and children, this is something that they have in common. They lack that accountability. Now, a woman, what she'll do is she'll try to talk her way out of it, right? She'll blame everybody else. She'll blame it on this. She'll blame it on that. She'll deny it. Whatever she has to do to hold off the accountability of hers in whatever that situation may be. So in that sense, she is like a child when it comes to accountability, right? She don't want no parts of it, right? So guys, we have to keep that in mind. And like I said previously, if a man does something wrong, a woman is all over him, which ultimately means most of these women, they lack grace, meaning they're not going to be forgiving. They're going to be on top of you every little thing they do. Ultimately, they lack grace, and they're not trying to look past anything. Any little thing you do, they're going to be on your neck. So that's why this doesn't add up. But if they do something, it's, I ain't do that. Nah, you did this, you did that. They want to talk about everything else, right? They want to talk about everything else. Now, next, I'm going to play a clip from the Lapeef Network. We're going to hear Trill talk about women who are not accountable, and then we're going to break that down. Let's get into this.
Going to get to this, bro. Like I think about sports immediately. Like, they got some talented ass players. Coach always say, bro, you got to be coachable. You can be a talented as hell. You know what I'm saying? But if I call a play going to the left and you go to the right, we fucked. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to be able to take tutelage. You got to be able to take direction. You got to be able to constantly self-assess. That's the only way that the relationship is going to progress. That's why so many relationships end, if we're going to be honest. I would say most. Because people, it's hard for motherfuckers to look in that mirror and, understand and accept what I did wrong. Mainly women, especially in this scenario. Because women are just not used to being told that they're wrong. It's always the man fault. As far as the cheating, as far as the neglect, the lack of emotional intelligence, So as a man, when you walk into the relationship, like, we be so busy trying to prove ourselves that we don't even realize half the shit that she doing wrong. Nor even try to hold her accountable to it. But once we start moving right, and then we try to hold her ass accountable when she don't take well to it, relationship typically ends right there. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Again, she can look good, she can make money, she can fuck good, she can do all of that. But if she's not coachable, it ain't shit that, any man is going to be able to do with her.
All right, guys. So you saw that, you heard that. Great football analogy there. You can have a guy with all the talent in the world, but if the coach called a play to go to the right and this player go to the left, everybody's screwed. The play is jacked up, right? The play is going to get blown up. In that same way, you can have a woman, right? She can look good. She can have good sex. She can have many things going for herself, a career, education, money, right? All this other stuff going for herself. But if she's not coachable, she is no good to your program as a man, right? If she's not coachable, ultimately, she will not be able to be led by you. She will not follow your leadership if she's not coachable, right? Think about, once again, a player who is not coachable. That player can't be led, right? That player is not going to follow the rest of the team. That player is going to do what they want to do at the end of the day, which could screw up the game or, be detrimental to the team. You get what I'm saying? So, guys, if a woman is not coachable, do not deal with her, because she's a woman who cannot be led. If a woman lacks accountability, ultimately, she's a woman who cannot be led. So we must always keep that in mind. You should never marry a woman who will not follow your leadership. That's ultimately what I'm saying. You should never marry a woman who cannot follow your leadership. Now, I've dealt with this on many occasions, right? I've dealt with women who lacked accountability several times, right? All those situations, relationships, and marriages did not end well. They did not end well. If you're dealing with a woman and say you catch her in something, or you trying to let her know where she was wrong or where she was at fault. If this woman uses sign language, right? Run. What is sign language? Shame, insults, guilt, and it need to be right, right? So if she shames you when you call her out on something, if she insults you when you call her on something, if she tries to make you feel guilty when you call her out on something, or if she just simply needs to be right, right? She's got to be right. You know she did wrong, but she's keep trying to make herself right. She keep trying to make herself right. That is a woman you do not want to deal with. As Shannon on the panel said, a woman who always needs to be right is the most dangerous woman you can deal with. If she always needs to be right, that is the most dangerous woman you can deal with. Run the other way, because there is nothing you can tell her, right? There's nothing you can tell her. At the end of the day, guys, what I'm saying is this. If you're dealing with a woman and she lacks accountability, run the other way. Do not marry her. If she lacks accountability, run the other way. Once again, I don't care if she looks good, her sex is good, or she's got good things going for herself. Save yourself the headache in the long run and get out of there, right? And then you can also thank me later. You can thank me later. Save yourself the headache. Ladies out there, if you're listening, please own up to your faults. Please let it be known when you're in the wrong. And bring that man peace. Bring that man peace. Is that too much to ask for? Right? Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask? Please, ladies, please cooperate with the men or the man that you're dealing with. Please cooperate with him. Stop making life harder. Stop bringing him a headache. Stop putting stress on him. These men are out here battling the world, right? When they come home and when they deal with you, they don't want to deal with a woman who lacks accountability. They don't want to deal with a woman who you can't tell nothing. Ladies, please cooperate with the man in your life. Please cooperate. But listen, guys, that's all I got for you. Like this video. Share this video. I can have something wrong. Let me know in the comment section. Also, subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube. And remember, guys, keep God first. I love you all. Be blessed.